Welcome to the show, everybody. I thought I'd start off this show with the Conchiefs song because this episode is about running backs I will never, ever draft again. Here we go. Let's roll it. All right. Welcome to the show. All right. Gotta love the bat at the end there, guys. Gotta love it. So in this episode here, we are talking about 4 running backs I will never, ever draft. And ironically, here's the funny thing. I've never drafted these running backs ever. And now we get to see exactly why they suck and why you should never draft them. So 4 running backs, guys, you should never, ever draft again. Need a shot of water here before we begin. Before we do, though, guys, make sure you guys do smash a thumbs up. And in the comments below, let me know of a running back you will never, ever draft. Love to get it in the comments, but I want to make this super interactive here. We are going full flow fantasy football season. It begins right now. We are locked and loaded for the 2023 season. Make sure you guys do subscribe and turn on that bell notification. I want you guys to just turn on that bell. That's very important because this is, I'm telling you guys, life-altering fantasy football information. It's really going to get you light years ahead of the competition, the stuff I do here. I'm also going to do breaking news as well. So turn on that bell. And I got a huge announcement coming in July. So big news coming your way very soon. And get the 16-round drafts, which I've linked that below here. Sleepers, breakouts, printable cheat sheet, everything you need to crush your leagues. 16 rounds, I've linked it below. Use code SMASH to save, or head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com under programs. All right, let's dive into this. I am excited to rip into guys I do not like, especially at the running back position. I will never, ever draft these guys. Let's talk about them. The first one jumps out at me, sticks out like a sore thumb. It is right there. It's saying, do not draft. Warning, warning, warning signs. Do not draft this player, okay? Like, I don't want to have to play the Conchiefs song again. If you're going to make me play the Conchiefs song, if you draft this guy, I'm going to be very upset, okay? So I don't want to have to play that song, right? But I hear he's currently ranked 18th amongst running backs on the consensus on the Conchiefs rankings. And at the end of the day, you have to stay away from this guy. And let me tell you who it is and why. The first player you never, ever draft again, and I've never drafted him, thank God, because, again, I've been doing really well avoiding him, is J.K. Dobbins. Now, J.K. Dobbins, okay, is going into a contract year. This is his last year of his rookie year, entering his 4th season. His first season, 134 attempts, 805 yards, 9 touchdowns. Not bad, okay? I mean, not great, but not terrible. He missed the entire 2021 season. Okay, let me repeat. Missed the entire 2021 season with an ACL injury, okay? Last year, only played, we only played, like, how many games did he play last year? I have it down here somewhere, like 8 games or something like that. I got to pull it up. J.K. Dobbins sucks, okay? And I looked at the stat here, guys. 27 games missed in his first 3 seasons. 27 games missed in 3 seasons. Okay, last year, 92 attempts, 520 yards, only 2 touchdowns. So the 2 seasons he played, he hasn't rushed over 806 yards, 805 the first season, 500 plus, 520 in the last season, which was last year. 27 games missed in 3 years, and now he's arguing, I want a contract. Do you think, anyway, in the comments below, does J.K. Dobbins deserve a mega deal? He's done nothing. Absolutely nothing. He sucks. He is one of those players, years to wow me, I'm not wowed, he sucks, and he's still going relatively high in drafts, okay? Now he's not going to be a first, second, or third round pick, and some people are going 0 RB, getting their wide receivers, and then getting Dobbins thinking he's going to be the one on a run-first quarterback team, quarterback that runs the ball a lot. When you got a running back as a quarterback, that is an issue if you're a running back. I never, ever draft a running back that's got a quarterback that is a running back, if that makes sense. Lamar Jackson puts up top 10 running back numbers. And I'm looking at the same situation with Justin Fields. They got Rashawn Johnson in, who's a rookie. Who they got? Foreman, Herbert, all these guys there at the running back committee. First of all, it's a bit of a committee where nobody's emerged in Chicago, but then you got a situation there with Fields, and he likes to run the ball a lot. So that's going to be an issue for me particularly, okay? So, J.K. Dobbins, years to wow us, guys, and guess what? I'm not wowed. So, yeah, I'm going to play it for you. All right, I'm not going to play the whole song again. We already heard it at the beginning. So, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you right now, J.K. Dobbins, stay away, all right? Second player here, I'm avoiding like the plague, and I've been 1 out of 3 right on him. The one season I said avoid him, he busted, got hurt, has been tearing it up as of late. The guy I'm talking about is Austin Ekeler. Now, Austin Ekeler, I've talked about it. This is not just another avoid Austin Ekeler video, but I had to include him on this list of 4 running backs I will never draft again. Austin Ekeler, I am fading. Why? Because he's a backup, always been a backup. Always will be a backup. Now, last year did well, but still not a whole lot of rushing yards, just over 200 rushing yards. Now, will he see 127 targets? Absolutely not. He will not see 127 targets and over 100 receptions. He will not see that. That is a rare anomaly. I mean, this is more than Kamara numbers in his prime. He was a volume guy based on a crippled wide receiver core, based on Joe Lombardi, check down, check down, check down, check down, check down. It was like, that was the whole story. Now, what works in his favor is that he is still hungry, he's still working out, and the fact that they didn't draft another running back, which is weird. Now, there is lingering free agent running backs. I would hope that Dalvin Cook ends up here, but there's no talk about it, unfortunately. That's a whole other story we'll get to in a second. But Austin Ekeler, I'm telling you, man, was a benefit because Herbert was just checking down, was not throwing downfield. They brought in Quentin Johnson in round 1. He is going to eat. I'm not sold on Keenan Allen, Mike Williams finishing the season. Quentin Johnson is going to be the guy. I already saw some highlight reels. The minicamp looks pretty good. Johnston does. I like him as value with a nice stack with Justin Herbert. But anyway, Austin Ekeler had his last hurrah last year. He will never, ever hit those numbers again, I assure you. And the fact that he's coming off as a top 2, this was a backup to Melvin Gordon for years. He was not even a fantasy consideration. Now, all of a sudden, people are drafting him like he's one of the best running backs in the game. No, you don't put him in the same class as Derrick Henry or any of those guys or Saquon Barkley of the world. He's not that good. He is a product of a good offense, and he's benefited off it. Good on him. I'm not investing on him. Never drafted him. Never will draft him. Never will draft him. And that's okay. Now, some people say, well, Joe, you were wrong about him last year. Do you think I care? I had Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Derrick Henry round 1 and Saquon Barkley round 2 because everyone was telling you, be careful with Saquon. He's outside the top 10. They all had DeAndre Swift ahead of him, who, by the way, is another running back to avoid. DeAndre Swift has sucked for years, and they had him top 10 last year, and I warned you against that. But at the end of the day, guys, Ekeler, no for me. Third guy here, I absolutely dislike this person, is Dalvin Cook, a guy that never finishes seasons. Last year, finally finished the season and still busted based on his ADP. This was a top 5 pick last year, Dalvin Cook. And I'm telling you, everyone told you to draft him round 1, top 5 pick. He busted, finished just outside the top 10 and finished 11th amongst running backs in PPR last year. And at the time of this recording, he's a lingering free agent. There's talk about him ending up in New York, which I will lose it if he ends up in New York because Brees is the guy. And that kind of concerns me now a little bit about Brees because why are you entertaining or even talking or even looking at the consideration of bringing in a washed-up Dalvin Cook when you've got the young, hungry, dynamic Brees Hall and you've got Michael Carter, who's a 1,000-yard year rusher on his own. So, unless, Brees Hall is not 100%, there's no reason to bring in Dalvin Cook and make it a disgusting committee there in New York. So wherever he ends up, he's going to be in a committee, okay? And he should not be the RB1 wherever he ends up. I mean, if he ends up on the Chargers, maybe RB1 over a sucky guy like Ekeler, or if he ends up on, Baltimore. Baltimore would actually be a good home for Dalvin Cook. He could be the one. J.K. Dobbins doesn't play well. This would be good. But if you put him with the Jets, sucks. Now, they got Devin Achane there, the rookie in Miami, who could be the RB1. I don't trust Miami running backs, but Cook wants to end up in Miami. That may be good, but again, I don't trust Miami running backs, so I'm avoiding. So never, ever, ever draft Dalvin Cook. I've saved you years of pain and heartache. He's busted every single year. He's missed fantasy football playoffs. He doesn't finish seasons. He sucks. And now he's old. He's already been paid, incentivized. And, I don't know where he's going to end up, but he's going to buzzkill. He sucks enough that he's not going to be the one, but he's also going to be good enough that he's going to buzzkill another running back. So It's a disaster, man. I hope he doesn't. I hope he just retires. I hope he just retires. I don't want to see him on another team ever again. Zeke Elliott is lingering. Leonard Fournette is lingering. Melvin Gordon. All these guys are lingering. Kareem Hunt is out there at the time of this recording, right? All these guys could buzzkill the situation. I like it the way that it is now. I hope they don't end up on a team and buzzkill some of the running backs that I like, okay? So another guy I will never, ever draft. The last one here. Again, make sure you guys smash thumbs up. Let me know about a running back that you would avoid this year. I want to make this interactive. Comment below. And of course, grab that 16-round draft solution to smash your leagues to be light years out of the competition, and then you'll know which running backs to actually draft, okay? Again, last year, everyone told you DeAndre Swift. They had him ahead of Saquon Barkley. They had Rashad Penny ahead of Kenneth Walker. These guys don't know what they're doing. Tyler Algier was not even a thought. All this stuff I made you aware in the 16-round draft solution to put your light years ahead of the Conchiefs, okay? All right, let's keep going here. Last one, the fourth running back I will never, ever, ever avoid. Now, these are big name running backs. They're not just guys that are obviously I'm going to avoid, right? Like guys that are just, that suck, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We know we're going to avoid Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If you don't know that, man, run, don't walk to get the 16-round draft solution, because I'm telling you. All right, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is the last one here. Now, last year finished 9th amongst running backs. Quarterback change, and A.J. Dillon has been emerging for years. So this was kind of similar to the Tony Pollard Zeke situation, where the backup was coming in and emerging. Now, Dillon actually had 7 rushing touchdowns. Aaron Jones only had 2. So you could see that Dillon is the goal line guy. And the year before, in 2021, Dillon actually had more rushing attempts, was more the number 1. Last year kind of worked more in Jones's favor, more in the receptions, more in the yards, a little more in the attempts, 213 to 186 Dillon had. So a little more attempts, but it was pretty much a split backfield. So the way that it sits now, Aaron Jones is sitting 4th amongst running backs, still ahead of guys like Dameon Pierce, who could definitely beat him in fantasy points, okay? So, and even ahead of Jamar Gibbs even. Aaron Jones is not a guy that I like. He's old. He's 28 now, which I think is old in running back years. In his, 5th, 6th, 7th season? I don't know. He's like 5th, 6th season or something like that. So, the guy is not young. He's not that great. He's a quarterback change, less checkdowns. We don't know how much Jordan Love is going to connect with him, or if he's going to be using him much, or if he's going to go more to Dillon. We don't know, but it's a different offense without Aaron Rodgers. So I look at the situation, I ask myself, why would I invest in an old running back who's directly in a committee where, Dillon has actually beat him in rushing attempts and definitely beats him in goal line work for sure, right? Why would I invest in somebody who's a split backfield and then consider him as my RB1, who's not a young guy anymore? I'm just not doing it. Never, ever by drafting Aaron Jones. Never have I drafted Aaron Jones. He's very inconsistent. He's had his share of injuries in the past. I mean, they all kind of do, but this is a guy that I'm completely avoiding. So let's repeat here. Dobbins, Ekeler, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones. Stay far away from these guys. Ekeler is way too expensive this year, guys. Way too expensive coming off a pinnacle year. Do not draft. And J.K. Dobbins, maybe it's a contract year. Maybe he comes out and does well. Doubt it. Highly doubt it. I'm not paying. 3 years, done nothing. Missed 27 games in 3 seasons. That's a lot of games. That's like Dalvin Cook here we're talking about. So even Dalvin Cook doesn't miss that many games. So you guys are aware now. Fully aware, avoid these guys. They're going to be in committees. They're going to be declining. Years to hours, we're not wild. Crappy situations, big names, running backs to avoid, all right? There you have it. Make sure you guys grab the 16-round draft solution. Smash the thumbs up, guys. Content rolling to you daily. I'm out.